The term gambling debt carries a strange kind of power. It is both the cold shackle of reality that suffocates a person and the burning fuel that drives them back to the gambling table in fantasy. For a gambler trapped in its grip, the weight of these two words far exceeds the actual figure shown in their bank account. It becomes a label of identity, a brand on the spirit, a nightmare that turns into a ghost in the middle of the night, strangling their throat. When someone is completely submerged by gambling debt, their way of thinking undergoes a fundamental distortion. What they see is no longer the cost of their mistakes, but a mission that must be completed. And the only tool left to accomplish this mission seems to be the very gambling platform that destroyed them. This is the deadliest and most absurd logical loop in the gambler's dilemma. Let's dissect this seemingly irrational mental state. When an ordinary person falls into debt due to a failed business, illness, or accident, their first response is fear and anxiety, followed by attempts to solve the problem through work, asking for help, or cutting expenses, real-world strategies. But a gambler reacts differently. The debt created by gambling isn't just financial pressure. It comes with an intense sense of abnormal loss. Subconsciously, a gambler doesn't believe they spent the money. Instead, they feel it was taken away through some unfair, unreasonable means. This feeling stems from the illusion of past wins and the readily available hope that gambling offers. They vividly remember their previous victories, the ecstasy of seeing their account balance surge. So, they don't attribute the current losses to their own poor decisions. Instead, they blame it on bad luck, a moment of impulse, or the platform's tricks. This kind of reasoning becomes the psychological foundation for their belief in winning it back. This is the gambler's ultimate embodiment of the sunk cost fallacy. What they've poured in isn't just money, but time, energy, and countless lies to cover up their gambling. All this becomes their reason not to turn back. To admit failure would mean acknowledging that all their efforts were in vain and that they were nothing but a fool. This complete denial of self-worth is unbearably painful. So, to protect itself, the brain initiates a twisted defense mechanism. It swaps the concept of repaying debt, which should be achieved through practical effort, for winning back losses. The former is a long and painful path to redemption. The latter is filled with the illusion of instant gratification. They'll tell themselves and their families, "I'm not gambling. I have no choice. This is the only way to fix things quickly." That line becomes the passport to every irrational decision that follows. Once this idea takes root, the gambler enters a state of magical thinking. They become more superstitious than ever about luck, signs, and so-called patterns. They believe the universe won't be so cruel and that a turnaround is bound to come. They spend endless hours analyzing charts that don't actually exist, studying randomly generated data like a scientist on the verge of a major discovery. They might see a lucky number or have a good dream and be certain that today is their day. This state of mind is incredibly dangerous because it's completely detached from reality. A pure game of chance becomes, in their mind, a duel they can control through willpower. They forget one basic fact. The only reason a casino exists is to exploit its mathematical advantage and drain every last drop of hope from anyone still clinging to fantasy. Your luck, your intellect, your determination, none of it matters against cold, hard probability. On a deeper level, when gambling debt becomes overwhelming, gambling itself transforms into a pathological painkiller. Every second of real life becomes torture. Family blame, creditor harassment, and utter despair drown them like a tidal wave. But in those moments, only opening a gambling app and plunging into the next round brings that adrenaline high, numbing all their pain and anxiety, if only for a while. In that moment, they don't have to think about tomorrow's bills or face the disappointed eyes around them. The tension of win or lose puts them into a flow state where the world is reduced to a screen and flashing numbers. It's a desperate form of relief, quenching thirst with poison, using a greater pain to mask the present agony. And every time the game ends, whether in victory or defeat, the emptiness and despair that follow return with double the force, dragging them deeper into the abyss. And the online gambling platforms? They are the coldest, most efficient predators of human weakness on this planet. They use big data and AI to map out every psychological vulnerability a gambler has. They know exactly when you've gone broke, when you're at your weakest, most unwilling to give up. That's when a so-called VIP manager appears, gently asking about your situation, kindly informing you that the platform has approved a recovery fund or rescue credit just for you. They'll throw in bonuses. Deposit $10,000, get $8,000 free, lowering your mental barrier to bet again. After you lose repeatedly, they might let you win a few small rounds to give the illusion that your luck is turning. They'll fill chat rooms with bots or paid actors pretending to win constantly, creating a false sense of prosperity. You'll think you're the only unlucky one, and that just a bit more persistence will land you the same success. It's a masterfully designed trap, tailored to your fears and desires. From the moment you pin your hopes of repayment on it, your ending is sealed. Now, let's zoom out and observe the ripple effect caused by gambling debt. It never destroys just the gambler's life. It's like a bomb dropped into a calm lake, tearing apart a family, sometimes an entire extended one. Picture the elderly parents, gray-haired, worn by a lifetime of labor. They've saved every penny, eating less, spending even less, maybe scraping together enough for a wedding house or an emergency fund. When they hand over their life savings to fill that bottomless pit caused by gambling, their hearts bleed. What they lose is more than money. It's trust in their child and the entire hope of a peaceful retirement. They're trapped in an impossible dilemma. Do they watch their child get devoured by debt, or do they empty themselves out and sink with him? No matter the choice, it's a nightmare they'll never wake from. Now think of the partner who shares a bed with the gambler. That sense of betrayal is unimaginable to outsiders. A once warm home turns into a battleground of lies and secrets. The partner becomes a full-time detective, paranoid, checking phones, combing bank statements, fearing every suspicious transaction. Once precious intimacy gives way to silent suspicion and tension. They bear creditor pressure alone, force a smile in front of others, and carry a burden they never deserved. This emotional torment is more terrifying than poverty itself. And then there are the innocent children. They may not yet grasp what gambling or debt means, but they can feel the shift in their home's atmosphere. They witness endless arguments and breathe the suffocating air of stress. Their carefree childhood is blanketed in adult gloom. Money meant for their education and growth has already vanished into virtual betting tables, without their knowledge. It's a ruthless theft of their future, with psychological scars that may last a lifetime. So when a gambler places a new bet in the name of paying off debt, what they're really wagering isn't just their future, but their family's happiness and the hope of generations. It's a game with no winner. So where's the way out? The only true path to redemption is ironically the one gamblers most resist, even look down on: honest labor, repaying step by step in the slowest, most humbling way. What does this path entail? It means letting go of every illusion and every bit of wishful thinking. It means, like a true adult, taking full responsibility for your mistakes. It means facing that broken reality head-on, reaching out to each creditor, sincerely apologizing, negotiating repayment plans, even if it means swallowing pride and enduring humiliation. It means killing off that old version of yourself, the one who dreamed of getting rich overnight. This road is brutally hard. You might need to work like a machine, getting up before dawn to haul bricks on a construction site, turn screws on a factory line, or deliver food in the streets. While others rest or enjoy life, you'll spend every spare minute doing odd jobs for meager pay. Your body will ache, your mind will strain. But strangely, in this lowly, exhausting physical labor, a long-lost sense of solidity will begin to return. When you finally receive that hard-earned paycheck, small but real, it'll feel better than winning $1 million at the table. Because this money is clean. It's yours. It reconnects you with the real world. It lets you feel, for the first time in ages, that you are using your own hands to right your wrongs. This is the process of bearing. That mountain of gambling debt is a load only you can carry. It's heavy, steep, agonizing, but you must carry it forward. Because this mountain is your greatest teacher, your most effective cure. It reminds you constantly of your past madness, keeping even the smallest reckless thoughts in check. And you'll find that as you grit your teeth and walk forward, your shoulders grow stronger, your resolve more unbreakable. This is more than redemption, it's self-reconstruction. The pain reshapes you from a gambler into a person of responsibility and dignity. In life, the most crucial decisions are rarely made during smooth sailing, they're made at rock bottom. The online gambling platform, that false temple of wealth, will always be there. Its lights flashing, its promises enticing, waiting for every lost soul to return. It doesn't care how much you've lost, whether your family's destroyed. It only cares if you still have one last chip to bet. It is a black hole void of warmth or emotion. But your life, your family, your future, they are finite and they can be drained. When you sit alone in the dead of night, staring at that astronomical debt, you must choose. And this choice has nothing to do with luck or strategy. It's about whether you still possess the last trace of reason and courage in your humanity. Will you keep believing that fantasy of sudden reversal, gambling away your dignity, your health, your family, your entire future? Or will you face reality, see the debt as punishment for your past and a warning for what lies ahead? Then lower your head, bend your back, and walk that long, painful, but honest road toward the light. Hardship is temporary. That line may sound like a joke to someone drowning in it, but remember this: giving up is permanent despair. Do the real accounting not of how much you owe, but of what you still have. As long as your body is healthy, as long as your family hasn't completely given up on you, as long as you have one more day to begin again, then you haven't lost everything. That debt is not your ticket back into the casino. It's your diploma, marking the end of the past and the beginning of a new life. Earning it is painful, but only with it in hand can you truly graduate and begin the second half of your life. This final gamble is for your awakening, and the stakes are everything you have left.